Within the ancient walls of Windsor Castle, a final farewell to the longest-serving royal consort in British history. A military man, and not one for unnecessary ceremony, he had choreographed much of what was to follow. The hearse, a custom-made Land Rover which the Duke had helped design. His coffin borne by the Grenadier Guards, covered with his personal standard, resting on top his naval cap and sword. Behind the vehicle, members of the royal family, led by Prince Charles. The Duke of Cambridge and the Duke of Sussex, the focus of much attention given their strained relationship, were separated by their cousin as planned. The Queen driven behind. Lining the route, troops from detachments with which the Duke had a special connection. As the coffin was carried up the west steps of St George's Chapel, a minute's silence was observed. There were just 30 mourners inside, all wearing masks. The Queen had to follow coronavirus regulations, separated from her family, as she mourned her husband of 73 years.
With grateful hearts, we remember the many ways in which his long life has been a blessing to us. We have been inspired by his unwavering loyalty to our Queen, by his service to the nation and the Commonwealth, by his courage, fortitude and faith.
The music had been chosen by the Duke, including a mariner's hymn for those in peril at sea. To end her husband's funeral, the choir of four sung God Save the Queen. Rarely have its words had such poignancy.
Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen.
The Duke's coffin lowered into the royal vault, his resting place until he is one day interred beside his wife. Funerals can be a time of reconciliation. As the royals left the chapel, Princes William and Harry briefly spoke, their first face-to-face conversation since the Duke and Duchess of Sussex decided to quit royal life. While family members were not dressed in uniform, more than 700 military personnel were. Prince Philip had requested a representative from Australia take part.
To be able to contribute in a very small way at the behest of the Duke from the nation, for our nation and for our Australian Defence Force to participate in his funeral, to honour a man that's spent his entire life in service for his country is quite something.
It was a royal funeral downsized by both choice and circumstance, relatively modest by the standards of his family and reflective of these extraordinary times in which we live, of so much loss and loneliness.
This image of the monarch sitting alone will be the lasting memory of this service, an experience thousands of widows and widowers in the United Kingdom have endured because of the pandemic. Prince Philip had told his family that life must go on, but for the Queen, the loss leaves a void which will never be filled. In Windsor, Ben Lewis, SBS World News.